Boeing's shares rebounded sharply this afternoon after CNBC confirmed FAA Director Steve Dickson is calling airline executives and telling them the regulator could approve the 737 MAX's return to service before mid-year. Senior economics reporter Steve Liesman is looking at how the moving timetable plays a bit of havoc with U.S. economic growth forecasts. Steve.
Yeah, Contessa, your read of that was perfect because the emphasis on before. News surrounding the 737 MAX creating turbulence in economists' growth forecasts. Forecasters cut their first quarter GDP outlook last month by as much as half a point after Boeing said it would halt production of the MAX. They dialed in the rebound in the second quarter. Then Boeing said this week service might not return till at least mid-year. That prompted B of A, among others, to lower their second quarter forecast by 0.3% to 2%. B of A said in a report, the longer the shutdown persists, the higher the risk of negative multiplier effects as workers laid off spend less, hurting the economy more broadly. Action Economics cut second quarter growth by 0.6 and pushed the rebound, as others did, into the third quarter. So if production and delivery start up sooner, economists may have to get out the pencils and erasers yet again. What's clear is the MAX is big enough by itself to have a measurable impact on growth in a given quarter. It depends a lot when they start up production and when they start up deliveries for a single quarter's growth forecast.
But Steve, they didn't lay off people when they halted production. They took their workers and they spread them around. So did that have an impact in spite of the...
But suppliers did, Contessa. Spirit Airways, which makes the fuselages, I believe, in Kansas, they announced layoffs of 2,800. Boeing has tried to very much and said very definitively they would not be laying off workers. We know they want to start up production as soon as possible. And when it happens in a given quarter, if there's a month worth of production, it's probably worth something to GDP. If it happens in the second quarter or the third quarter, you could have that half off for both quarters. Or it could be just one quarter, and then you have that rebound when it comes back in the following quarter.
Steve, so 0.5% or so for just the 737 MAX. So Boeing in total is worth what of GDP, roughly?
Depends on how you put it. I mean, I don't know. In a given month, I don't actually know the answer to what total civilian airplane production is worth. What I do know is there's enough planes here that aren't being produced. I guess the number was 52 down to 0. It's worth pointing out, Wilf, what was happening before. The 737 MAX was grounded. Boeing continued to produce. We didn't have the shipments going into GDP, but instead we had an inventory build. And then when they decided to halt production, you lost the shipments, which you'd already lost, and then you lost the inventory build. So that's why you had those two components where it might have shown up. Another place it showed up was in exports as well. So if this comes back, that plane alone, remember, we're multiplying everything in a quarter really to the fourth power. So it has an outsized effect from what the actual numbers are.